Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to another Warehouse interview. Tonight I'd like to welcome Brett and Brian Cleveland from the band Underlords of the Overworld. You might know these guys because we just featured them on a little known band that you should know show. So go check out that episode if you want to hear some tracks. But anyway, Brett and Brian Cleveland, Underlords of the Overworld. Let's do
Piling on the power chords and pure pandemonium. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, this is going to be loose. We have Brett and Brian from Underlords of the Overworld. Say that real fast. So they're from Des Moines, Iowa. Formed in what, 2012?
Yeah, I mean, so...
give us a little bit of background.
Yeah. Okay. So this kind of incarnation, we started playing together in 2012.
Okay.
It started because our friend Brent's classmate from...
We're talking what year?
Oh, God. Well,
yeah, but you guys are brothers, so you guys must...
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's even go back further. This is what I really like to open up with stuff. You guys, what was the first thing? Okay, you both learned to play guitar. You both play guitar.
Yeah.
And your siblings. Usually one sibling will play something else, or you look at the Van Halen brothers. One took drums, one took guitar.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you guys were young, what was the one thing that you heard that, like, the skies parted, the water parted, that you went, oh my God, we have to play a band. We have to take up an instrument. We have to do this. What was that moment with you guys?
It was a twofer for me. It was a two because so we grew up with a dad who was huge into the Oak Ridge Boys.
Okay.
And, gospel music, stuff like that. But we had a neighbor who had Kiss Alive, and we were over there. He dropped the needle on side one, and that opening to Deuce, that was it. It changed everything. And then since Brent's older than me, he had access to, an allowance or whatever.
Oh, he actually had an allowance.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. He had money somehow. And
he had money.
Yeah, he was able to get a copy of the new Kiss album, which was "Lick It Up." Mm-hmm. So this happened around 83, and he brought "Lick It Up" home, and I remember very carefully because I didn't want to know I was playing it because he'll look for fingerprints, and I put the needle on, and you drop the needle on Exciter, and so it was like track one, side one of "Lick It Up." So it was old Kiss and then contemporary Kiss at the time. That was it. It was just like, oh my God. This is just amazing.
Yeah. And we wanted to do stuff that was cooler than our dad. We didn't want to sing in a gospel quartet like he did.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do cool music.
I'm sorry, Ace Frehley was just cooler. I know he wasn't on Lick It Up, but and he was cooler than Vinny too. I'm just gonna put that up.
Yeah, I'm not a big Vinny fan. Vinny Vincent Invasion, I remember when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to the guitar parts and I'm going, are these sped up?
I know, right?
Yep.
And everybody that heard that damn record went, come on, those are sped up. How did they sped up?
The guitar solo on Exciter is Rick Derringer.
Yeah.
I did not know. Well, I can believe that.
Yeah.
Rick Derringer's a great player. He played on Todd Rundgren stuff. He played on Steely Dan stuff. And Steely Dan would not have Rick Derringer playing guitar if he was terrible. But he's a very tasty player. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah. So that was it. In fact, I can see the guitar that started it all. It's right over here. Hang on, I'll go grab it.
Yeah, because our dad took him to get a guitar, and then
back when you were a kid, this is the guitar you got.
Yeah, this is the first guitar that he got.
The Yamaha SE150.
Yep.
Oh, I'll be darned. Kind of looks like the Yamaha bass at the time.
Yeah, this is junked out. The strings are probably that old too.
I guess you're not playing that.
No, I don't play this. No.
But that's a great guitar. That's Japanese made.
Yeah.
The Japanese guitars then were fantastic.
Yeah.
And that started it all.
Yeah. And it was funny because Brent had a high school classmate named John, and they formed a kind of a goofy band because Brent would take my guitar. and they would play, and John played drums, and then eventually I kind of joined in. Actually, John's sister had a bass, so I kind of joined in on that, and then we got their classmate Josh involved, and the three of us, Brent, Josh, and me, the three of us have been playing together on and off in different ways since then, and it's just kind of funny because we're the whole name Underlords, that term, we just kind of coined that term to describe ourselves as a kind of a self-deprecating kind of way of saying.
I mean, were you guys like the Underlords, and then you expanded it, or no?
That name was actually, we thought of that around 2015 or something.
Okay.
I had said something about like if you're damned to obscurity, you might as well be a legend in your own mind. And it was like the exact opposite of being an overlord. It's like we're not overlords of anything.
Right.
We're just underlords. And it just kind of stuck. We just kind of joked. It was like a joke name, and it just kind of stuck. But it's funny because we grew up. Obviously, it's Des Moines. Des Moines is known for Slipknot, and I used to. One of my best friends, the first band I ever played in was actually a duo called Terminator, named after the movie with Arnold.
Sure.
And the guy that was in that band his name was Ryan, and he ended up playing with Joey Jordison in a band called the Rejects, and we used to hang out all the time. And it's just so bizarre because it's like you had this kind of weird dichotomy of like, Joey Jordison and Paul Gray and those guys in Slipknot become the biggest thing in the world, and nobody in the Des Moines circle would have any clue who in the world we were. Like we were so far removed. It's like we're not even in the solar system. We're not Neptune. We're not Uranus. We're not even Pluto. We're the Oort cloud. So distant that no one would have a clue.
Well, you guys mentioned Kiss. You mentioned Lick It Up as the first influences. But if I listen to your stuff, that Kiss is not what comes to mind.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
What does come? to mind?
What does come to mind? Because we
like the Residents, and I don't know. You guys are pretty out there, though.
I've heard Black Sabbath, Blue Öyster, Rush. Yes. Not that we're these bands, but that's what we hear. That's what people
I still hear a little bit of Residents on top, because you guys are pretty, maybe some Zappa? No?
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool, though.
It's just kind of bizarre to hear that because, like, we didn't take lessons, and we're not real dexterous in our playing.
Really? Because it doesn't come off that way.
Well, I can't speak for any of the other guys, but I know for me, I have a box and I kind of stay in it. I can do certain things in that box pretty well. But it was all just kind of like when we were kids. It was like, well, we could come up with cool riffs, can't we?
Yeah.
If we can come up with a cool riff, can we turn it into a cool song?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we.
Usually the answer was no, we couldn't, but we tried anyway.
Yeah. And so
we've always written our own songs, even going back to when we were kids.
You don't want to hear them.
Yeah, you don't want to hear them.
I want to hear them.
No, you don't.
But I'll tell you what's kind of cool though is that you actually, in a certain sort of way, you actually have, because that song Sugar Man, that is a song. Brent wrote that song.
We played that on that show too?
Davey insisted. Insisted that you play it.
That's right. It was fantastic, and people that heard it thought it was fantastic.
Thanks.
Brent wrote it we were in our 20s.
96, 97.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where like I wanted a new version of it because the thing is none of us could ever sing, and so years ago our bass player Josh. He would do these just kind of corny vocals, and it was all kind of an inside joke.
Yeah.
And it was really not meant for anybody else to hear but us. But our current drummer and super great friend of ours, his name is Andy Anderson. He's a multi-instrumentalist, and he's got a great voice. And I was like, hey, Andy, if we record a version of Sugar Man, would you sing it? And he's like, oh, hell yeah. So we did, and it turned out awesome. We tweaked it a little bit. We added kind of a little coda at the end, but I think it turned out really cool. And Brent recommended getting a voice box on it, so we bought a voice box, and I did that, and that was fun.
Did the Peter Frampton thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, we have to talk about that. Can you buy just a voice box? Didn't
Yeah.
Electro Harmonics make one back in the day? Who
Um,
makes one now?
hang on.
Oh,
We never had one.
Keep talking.
We never had one until just now. Because
Electro Harmonics made one back in this, after Peter Frampton did his thing and everything took off.
you're talking like back in the 70s.
Yeah, but that's when it really first
Oh,
hit.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you think Frampton comes alive, and who else did it before then? I think he was the first.
I think for me, it's like I remember Matthias Yabs using it on like the Zoo, Dave Gilmore using it. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's an MXR.
Yeah, but this is it.
Oh,
right
it's an
here.
MXR?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we got it just for that song because I thought it would kind of we wanted to try to make the new version different, and so we just switched some stuff up a little bit and threw that in there.
And different for us because not that anybody else knew the original song, but yeah. So the idea was let's do that, and because we had been doing just instrumental stuff because we couldn't sing, and we also had difficulty maintaining drummers.
Like Spinal Tap.
A lot like Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I read about that. You guys went through a lot of drummers.
Yeah, because Josh had lived in Ohio for about a decade, and he came back. Oh yeah, you're in Ohio, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm in Delaware, Ohio. I'm like 20 minutes north of Columbus.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And so Josh moved back, and after a year or two, I'm like, dude, I want to play. Just go buy a bass. It's been so long. So the whole idea was just to get like a little Tascam and just record a little ideas. And then I saw on Craigslist this guy. His name was Andy. And a different Andy, and he was looking to play drums for somebody. He wanted to do something original, so we reached out to him, and it's like, oh, this is cool. He was a great guy. We played with him for a while. Brent came back in. The four of us we were just writing instrumental stuff just for fun, and then Andy had to move. He and his family had to move to Arkansas, so I got in touch with a guy named Kevin Neal who runs a studio in the Des Moines area. Just to record, it's like, hey, we've really got something kind of fun here. Let's just get a few songs recorded before Andy has to move to Arkansas. Yeah. That was the whole thing, and it's cool. It turns out that Kevin Neal's done some. I mentioned Joey Jordison earlier. Kevin had worked with him on some of his post Slipknot stuff, and the board, the SSL console that's in Kevin's studio is a pretty cool piece of music history too, because it was used in the film. It was Straight Outta Compton. Is that that?
Yep.
That movie. He bought it from in L.A. and he flew out to L.A. and shipped it back here. And so that was kind of cool.
Didn't he say
Was the studio shutting down or what?
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, he would know the story, I guess. But it's cool. So.
Well, what was it? Did you guys see that documentary, the Dave Grohl thing about Sound City?
Yeah.
And Dave bought the board the historic board that recorded Rumors and Tom Petty stuff and blah blah blah, and he put it in his own studio.
Yeah, I think
fantastic.
It's cool stuff because it's like, okay, so we had an opportunity to do something kind of fun like that, and then and we really rushed it because Andy had to move to Arkansas. Like literally, it's like I got to do the drums, then I got to leave. And then we stumbled across this guy named Larry, and Larry's like, hey, I've heard your guys' stuff. I want to play. So we got Larry in, and we played with him for a couple of years and kept doing more instrumental stuff. And then
he said, I'm not going to pull an Andy. I'm not going to leave. And then like within the next 2 or 3 days, he's like, oh guys, I'm leaving for St. Louis.
Yeah, he had to move to St. Louis.
Okay.
So I was like, oh shoot. Okay. So you got to move to St. Louis. And then
it's hard to build a rock and roll empire like that.
Well, right.
Grant, it's hard, Grant. It is so hard.
I know. I'm with you.
In the meantime, while all this is going on, Josh, our bass player again, his real main love is writing. And he started to write a fictional backstory, kind of an alternate universe backstory. And because all the great bands have great stories. I mean, I think Kiss. I think whether it's Kiss or Yes or
Van Halen.
I mean, I just love band histories. And so Josh started to write this alternate universe band history where Brent and Brian are not brothers, for example. They have different last names, and he self-published this series, which looks a little corny, and it's fun. It's kind of silly. And then volume 4 of it was all about how they have to travel through time to find a drummer.
Oh my God.
And
How Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very, yeah.
Yeah.
And so in terms of like the recording element of this, so we had Andy, then we had Larry, then another Larry pops in. Turns out it's one of my wife's best friends' husband, and I met him, and we've become close friends. And he is like I said, he's a multi-instrumentalist, and I had this weird idea because you see, so this was the thing we recorded with two different drummers, and you can see there's pictures of two drummers actually in the back because this is the first Andy and this is Larry, and they're the guys who moved to other states.
They both played on it.
And then when the new Andy Anderson is his name, when he came in, I said, "Hey Andy, let's do songs as if it's not us." Because these
kind of like Sgt. Pepper when the Beatles decided to be something else. Wow.
There are other artists, bands referenced in these books that Josh wrote, and they're really corny. There's a folk duo called Scurvy and Ricketts.
Has Josh written anything else other than that?
Yeah,
okay.
But he's actually expanded the universe to include other things.
It's like Star Wars.
It kind of is. We had a country artist in here called Heath Mildew and the Rogue Bovine Band.
Yeah.
There's
Space Puma.
Space Puma.
Space Puma?
Yeah, Space Puma.
It's just silliness.
Good with that.
Just
Space
utter
rock.
silliness. And then what we did is we found other people and people that we knew to contribute to it, so it didn't all sound like us. And some of it's more of us, some of it's not. But it kind of became kind of a soundtrack type of thing. And I thought this was as far as we were going to go. We just did this for fun.
Crenshaw Boone and the Christian Muscle.
And when was that? What year was that?
This was done
21.
The height of COVID, really, 20 into 21.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, I'm a high school teacher by profession, and one of my former students actually did a vocal on this, which was kind of cool. So that was supposed to be kind of it, but we're playing with Andy, and we're coming up with new instrumental ideas and stuff, and we started to name.
Well, let me go back in time though, because if the debut came out in 2021,
was it
19.
Was it 19?
Well, the disc is 21. Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, we'll say 21.
But what were you guys doing before all this? I mean, were you guys playing in different bands or what?
No, we played.
No.
So if you go back in time, we played in like the high school kind of, and then into college a little bit, and then it all just petered. Josh went to Ohio. I got a teaching job. Brent went into law school and everything. And I always played. I don't know about the other guys. I think Josh actually kind of gave up bass for a while.
He sold all of his gear too.
That's right.
He sold all of his gear. See, I've never done that. See, in the 80s,
no, I kept playing.
All through college, in the 80s, I worked in a guitar store.
Yeah.
And I played every weekend. So people were going, well, Grant, you were probably just on the OSU campus going crazy. I said, no, not really, because I had gigs every weekend. And I'd drive back up to Marion, Ohio, and we would play Bucyrus, or we'd play Upper Sandusky.
So
we would play in Bell Fountain. We would play all these surrounding areas. So on the weekends, I was playing gigs.
Were you doing originals or covers or?
No, it was all covers.
All covers. Okay. See, and that's one of our downsides is none of us. Well, we've never played covers before, really, in any kind of band. And Andy Anderson, our drummer, vocalist, he actually does dueling pianos. So he does
like Howling at the Moon kind of thing.
Well, shoot, he can probably pull off the top of his head anywhere between 100 and 125, 150 covers.
Wow.
And he also is part of an Elton John Billy Joel tribute, and he's awesome at it. He's really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So when we became, close friends with him, it just kind of became natural because there's a studio that we have access to. It's not really a home studio, but it's not really a professional studio. It is, It's got professional grade microphones and everything you'd need, really. And he's a fantastic engineer, and he's a fantastic producer too.
Yeah.
And so, a good case in point is we did a song. There's another old song that Brent and Josh wrote way back in the 90s. And it was a silly song. It's called I Don't Believe in Bigfoot. And we were playing the riff one day, and Andy was like, "Oh, but if you did it like this on piano," and he started doing this different thing with it, and then we rearranged it, the whole thing, and it suddenly stopped being this kind of just fun, jokey kind of thing, and turned into this really cool piece of music. And for some reason, I was like, I can hear Blaze Bayley doing this, even though we needed new lyrics and everything. But I was like, I think I want to get Blaze Bayley to do this. So I reached out to Blaze Bayley's manager. I emailed him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we can arrange to do that." So we did. So we have a single. And the song is called Ordo Obstrus Oculus, which
it's on this record. It's on the.
Hang on just a second. The title. It's supposed to be kind of cryptic and almost BOC-ish. But Josh expanded the universe.
Of course Josh did.
Yes.
Yeah, of course he did.
And of course he did.
The OAO is basically a secret society of occultists that are subcontracted by the U.S. government to write cover and deception stories for anomalous stuff. Unpack that. And so what we started to do, then we started to realize that Josh's prose, his fiction, could serve as really good topical kind of sparks for lyrical ideas. Because I always loved bands, like one of my favorite bands of all time is Öyster Cult, because I love putting on Secret Treaties and being like, what the heck are they singing about? Like, what is Subhuman actually about, right? I just love that kind of cryptic nature. So I wrote some new lyrics. Josh helped write those lyrics. We sent them off to Blaze Bayley. Andy does a dummy vocal. A week later, we get a vocal back from Blaze Bayley, and we're in the studio mixing it. And I'm just like, I can't believe we got a guy who used to be in Iron Maiden doing a vocal on a song that Brent and Josh wrote the original version of back when he was in Iron Maiden.
Yeah, but you guys had when that happened, though, in that situation, you just must have been blown away that you were able to make this happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember, Josh at the time was a little skeptical about it. He's like, I like Andy's vocal. And I said, I do too, but we can't pass this up.
Oh, no, we can't pass that opportunity up.
I can't pass this up.
Yeah, but you could put out an alternative version with
it. Exactly.
Did.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
on
go.
this album, there are two
there
versions
it is, because didn't we play something off of that too?
You did that. Sugar Man is
played Sugar
The
Man.
Sugar Man's off that one. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
Sugar
sorry.
Man's on that. Yep. In fact, there's a song on there called "End of an Era," which is the song. That's the first song I ever wrote. I was in middle school when I wrote that.
Really?
Yeah.
So prolific at a young age.
No, not really. Not really.
Well, what about Soup and Sandwich? Didn't you have Derek?
Oh, well, that's
with Derek Sherinian.
Sherinian.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is that like with Blaze actually sent us a video of himself. He said, "I love doing this." He said, "Thanks so much for having me do this." Of course,
So he did that for free, or did you have to give him money?
No.
Ah, he had to pay him.
No, we had to pay him to do it. But the fact that he didn't have to go out of his way to send a little personal video and
that's
talk
nice
about
of
that.
him.
I thought that was a nice touch.
He also embellished. He added things that we didn't even tell him to add. He embellished it. He said, "I hope you guys like what I added to it." And we were like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, we love it."
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do your Blaze. You just do your thing.
You do you.
Well, it was actually his guitar player that did the communication. He was like, "Do you mind if Blaze does some little vocal?" And I was like, "Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do it.
I mean, it's Blaze Bayley.
Yeah, you do it.
But
I just think it's amazing that he was able to do that.
Yeah.
I guess when you ask and you just see, things happen.
That's right. Derek was an interesting situation. So we hadn't yet really quite gelled with Andy yet in terms of like doing vocal stuff. We were still kind of in this instrumental phase. And we wanted to take a couple of the songs from the original recordings that we did with our original first two drummers from this, I always felt like they needed to be beefed up a little bit. They lacked something. And I noticed Derek Sherinian would put on his social medias, he'd say, if you want me to play on your stuff, just message me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So I did, and I said, how does this work, and what do you charge? And he told me, and it's funny because he did this in less than 2 or 3 hours. I got a response from him.
Oh yeah.
You send him an MP3, and he'll send you a snippet back of what he might put over it.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that in the same night that I emailed him, and I'm like, whoa, unbelievable.
Guess he didn't have a gig that night or something.
He must not have.
Must have been free.
But his price, I mean, he's a professional musician.
Oh yeah.
Money, right? So he's like, okay, this is what it's going to cost. And there were 2 songs I wanted him to do, and I wrote him back, and I said, thanks for getting back to me so fast. And I said, I have to talk to the other guys, because we're not made out of money. We're actually losing money doing this, right?
Well,
so, and I like I said earlier, I'm a teacher, so between classes, my phone buzzes like the next day or 2 days later, and it was an email from Derek emailing me back and saying, "Hey, just curious, he said, if like to discuss further because I listened to the tracks again and I really want to play on them."
Oh.
And I'm like,
Both of them. Yeah.
yeah. Now, I don't know if that's just Derek, the businessman, getting,
blowing smoke up your ass, or
right. I don't know.
he's looking for more of. Yeah, I want to do 2 tracks.
Right. But I'm like, geez, okay, fine.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's wild because he played offstage keyboards for Kiss on the Revenge tour '92, and I saw that tour twice from the front row. We saw Dream Theater when he was with them when they opened for Deep Purple, and it's like this guy's gonna.
You guys go way back with him.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I love Derek.
You're like buddies almost.
I mean, yeah.
Well, and he gave us a deal, right? He gave us a little bit of a deal. Like
there's something. I don't know.
He cut us a little bit of a deal, Grant.
Okay.
It's like to do the 2 tracks.
Yeah, there was something in there.
Again, too good to pass up.
I hear you. I'm all for it.
So then the funny thing was the keyboards were so good that Andy Anderson, he goes, those keyboards are so good. He goes, we need to re-record everything else. So, we re-recorded the drum, and doing the drums was difficult. Not super difficult, but because the original drums were not recorded to a click. So Andy had to go in and record new drums to the original drums and try to match the feel of it. But that's how good Andy is as a musician.
So it was no big deal, really.
It took him maybe 3 takes, I think, but we added new guitars, new bass. We actually altered the bass line a little bit to adapt to the keyboard stuff that Derek had done, and so that's what Soup and Sandwich was. And it just was by chance that it was too. I mean, we used to come up with titles just because it's like you have an instrumental track, call it whatever the heck you want. So it was like, right. Waiter, there's a demon in my soup, and Dirty Hands make a great sandwich. That came from we were at a restaurant.
It's the bacteria, yeah.
Well, yeah, and it was just something one of us said at one point, and it just stuck, and that's how most of these titles came about. But then, like I said, once Josh really got going on this fictional universe and this backstory and everything, then we started to take inspiration to write stuff that actually has lyrics, and some of it's not quite so cornball anymore. Like the song "Smaller Than Death," that comes from. It's a story about the Underlords. They're shrunk down to subatomic level. It's like a novella. It's a short story. Mm-hmm. But
it happens.
But I thought of it as a metaphor for being like
small.
Well, to be unseen, to be like a wallflower.
Yeah.
Like you're the person at the party that no one notices, and you can see things from that vantage point that maybe the people that are the life of the party can't see. Mm-hmm. And that relates back to the whole idea of us being just total outsiders. I mean, we had connections to people that were pretty well connected in the Des Moines scene going all the way back years ago, but no one knew who the hell we were.
Well, let me ask you this, like Josh's books.
Yeah.
So how does it work? Does the story come first? You might and write music around it, or vice versa? It sounds like to me, almost like you have the music together, and he can come up with a book to surround it with.
Well, like right now, we've started to work kind of on a new project, and the writing of the book and the story is coinciding with coming up with new song ideas.
Okay.
So he's giving us like drafts of where he is, and I took out a pen and paper and just started writing down title ideas. We got together a series of weekends in a row with guitars and just kind of started throwing out ideas and spitballing stuff. Yeah. So, and we're working with Andy a little bit now on the front end too, whereas prior songs, we would bring him in mostly at the back end, but now we're bringing him in up front, and he's helping with some of the writing and arranging of some of these new ideas. But we're trying that because we've never done it that way before, so that's new for us now.
Yeah. And we want everything to just be things that can stand on their own. So like you don't really have to get.
But we like there to be a connection, like a nexus between the stories and the music. So like there's not going to be there probably won't be any song titles that have nothing to do with the universe going forward.
Right.
There's going to be some connection, whether it's loose or otherwise.
Yeah.
So if people are just getting into you guys, and they're just discovering the Underlords of the Overlord, how do I want to phrase this? How would you personally introduce the band to someone that wants to possibly get into the band?
That's funny because we actually held a business meeting to discuss this. Wow. Well, we actually got together and talked about how do we summarize succinctly what this is, and we've struggled with that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
I figure you guys would have the answer because I can't come up with anything.
I think the best answer is not really try too hard, honestly. I mean,
don't overthink it, just let things happen.
Just underthink it.
Yeah, underthink
there you go.
it.
Keep with the theme.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, it's just a bunch of guys who have a fictional backstory, and their bass player likes to write fiction that's kind of in this fictional backstory. And then the music kind of reflects the backstory.
I will say this about the Warehaus. The Warehaus runs itself. Yeah, it's my channel, but can I tell you where we'll be in a month? Couldn't tell you.
And that's kind of the thing. It's like you just kind of organically it just kind of goes where it wants to go, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I was thinking, would I be talking to you guys 2 months ago? No. It just kind of organically happened.
We'd be talking to you 2 months ago. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Things just kind of organically happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really what this is just something that was organic.
And still the writing is very much organic too. I mean, stuff just kind of
Smaller Than Death dropped in March, right? Is that right? What month are we in?
Yeah. And we want to get physical copies just because we're old school. We like to have physical stuff.
I'm all about physical copies,
right?
Yeah, I have to.
But there's been some roadblocks in terms of the technicalities on that. So, but it is out on streaming, and there's some instrumentals on it, and the titles of the instrumentals allude to stories that are in this volume of short stories. Mm-hmm. And then the few songs that have lyrics, like the song Shadows Creep, that's a song that's actually inspired by a story in here called Between 2:30 and 4 a.m., which is kind of a supernatural story. And then there's song?
Would you consider that a standout track?
I do. I love it. Sure. I do. Yeah. There's
is there any other favorites from this? I'm just curious in case people want to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My favorite, I love the title track. I love Casa de Philus. That's a fantastic instrumental that Brian and Blake. I remember when I heard the demo for that, I was blown away by it. I think that's one of the best instrumentals we've done. I love Shadows Creep. I don't want to name the whole album. I love. Hey, if you like the whole album, that means something. A lot of artists maybe don't, might not be able to say that. I think it's the best thing that we've done. I really like Strange Delirium because it's different. We've never really done anything like it before. We redid Laundromat. Keith loves Laundromat. He's the new manager. In case you didn't know, Grant, he's now the manager of the Laundromat of Madness.
And that's a title that goes back to when we were kids.
But there's spoken word on here too.
There's
Yes,
we always do
there
like a
is.
little
Intro.
intro outro thing. I don't know why we do that because
Well, it was because
Why
the
do
songs,
you do it?
the songs
Is it
didn't have lyrics. Primarily.
Is that something that Josh is into, or what?
no.
Well, we didn't have songs with lyrics, and so the thought process was we can kind of maybe set the table a little bit by doing a little bit of an intro and an outro.
It's kind of like a Moody Blues kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a little risky because you put an album on and the first thing you hear is somebody talking. It's like, okay, skip, you know.
Well, I wouldn't. I love that stuff.
Oh, well, okay, that's cool.
That is
Yeah, I don't. I think people like that stuff for the most.
But you know what? To be honest with you, I remember playing. You know, our colleague Andy. He's not a Kiss fan
Oh no.
necessarily, and we were playing Detroit Rock City at the studio once, and he'd never really heard that. You know that long intro. You know, with the washing of the dishes and all that.
Yeah, I
stuff.
love that. You know what?
I love that. And Andy was
I
like,
love it.
"What the heck?" He's like, "Where's the song?" And I'm like, "Just give it a moment, man."
You know what? FM rock radio here in Columbus, they don't play that part. They take everything off of double platinum. So you're just getting the double platinum version, which it just goes right into it. You
Have
know?
you noticed those other remixes, like the double platinum remix, and they always add an extra "get down" at the end of the
Well,
song?
you gotta have a song with an extra get down,
No,
don't you?
it sounds weird.
I don't like it.
It's like all of a sudden Gene coming back and this "get down" again, and it's like, what where's that? No,
You don't like that.
no, I
No,
don't like
I
the
Do you
don't
guys
it.
like double platinum and what Sean Delaney did
you
for
know,
double
I'm
platinum?
gonna go on record.
I know we're on a Kiss tangent, but whatever. We do
That's
tangents
fine.
on this show.
Strutter 78.
I honestly,
Some people don't like Strutter 78. I
love
dig
it.
Strutter
love
78.
it.
I love Strutter 78.
Yeah.
Love it. In fact,
And what was it about Hard Luck Woman? What was it? There was something about it. Did it have like an extra?
Yes. Yep.
well, and the drums don't kick in right
Right.
away either.
That's what it was. It was the drums.
Yeah.
Calling Dr. Love is great on double platinum. That's got
Yep. It's got a
remix
different
to it.
mix.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's red
I
hot.
like double platinum. Now I've talked to some people. We've done shows and people go, "Oh, double platinum." But I like what they did with double. I like what Sean Delaney brought to that.
So
There you go.
you know, I know a lot of people, and I think this is an interesting point. A lot of people, myself included, at times, you know, you hear that thing, and it resonates with you, and you love it, and anything that, you know, any remix or tweaking or whatever seems like some sort of sacrilege or whatever. But I think that I've learned, you know, when you're recording stuff and you kind of have an idea of what it should sound like, and if from like an artist point of view, it makes total sense to me for an artist to kind of go, man, I want to go back and remix that because it's not quite I envisioned what it in the first place. That's very different from a listener perspective.
But Brian, when when Billy Gibbons wanted to go back and reinvent ZZ Top and put all those digital drums and remixed all that six-pack stuff, and it all sounded like Eliminator.
Yeah. Okay.
And let me give you another example. Frank Zappa in the 80s, remember when he dropped new bass parts, new drum parts on We're Only in It for the Money, and a lot of that stuff because he thought, oh, well, the master tapes are horrible. As we learned later that on the 2012 reissues, there was nothing wrong with the tapes.
Well, okay. And
Zappa wanted to reinvent that stuff because he didn't like the way it sounded. But then you had some people look at it and go, oh, my God, that's horrible, you know.
yeah.
But it's something about reinventing history that I don't like.
I would say as long as the originals are still accessible. So, like, for example, you know, Trevor Horn redid all the vocals on Yes's Fly From Here because he was on, you know, that's the original lineup that did drama, and they took them.
But that's also a later record. It's not like that record's
it
ever
is,
going to
it
end
is.
up being a classic album.
Right.
But
No, I agree.
We're
I
Only in
agree.
It for the Money should never have been tampered with.
But here's my point on that though. Like, I have no problem with Trevor Horn doing that and them remixing.
I don't
that
either.
album. But here's what bugs me: the original with Benoit David is now not available. That's not acceptable.
That is not acceptable.
And that's what I don't like.
There you go.
That's what bugs me because I actually prefer the original with Benoit David. No disrespect to Trevor Horn,
Well,
but because I'm a massive Yes fan, huge Yes fan, and and sometimes you hear artists that will say, I think Alex Van Halen says like, no, it is what it is. You don't touch it, and that's fine. As long as the originals are there and you can still access, you can still access them, then I have no problem with it.
Yeah, the fact
I actually
that
like it because I'm hearing things that I didn't hear before. But
Giles Martin, the Beatles going through and redoing all these records and remixing them and stuff. I don't think they ever needed remix. But then look at George Martin when the original Beatles CDs came out. George Martin remixed "Help," and he remixed "Rubber Soul" for CD because he didn't like the damn mix. There is nothing wrong with the original mixes. That's what they were. That's what people grew up on.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, I bought those CDs when they came out. I was in line when those Beatles CDs came out in the '87. Shit, I was in line. I was one of those people in line for midnight.
What did you think of "Let It Be Naked"?
I liked it because Paul knows what to do with it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like what Phil Spector did with it. Phil Spector muddied the waters. Paul, that "Let It Be" was not that was not the concept. It was supposed to be stripped down. And Paul,
that's true.
Paul knows what it was supposed to be. So that's my definite version. I don't like what Phil Spector did to that. All the strings and stuff. Beatles didn't want that on there.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting because
it just depends, I guess. So.
Yeah, I think that it's a matter of a different chef with a different view of what the dinner should taste like. And again, I think as long as the thing you like, I keep going back to Kiss, but like Hotter Than Hell. I mean,
it all comes back to Kiss,
right? It does. But I mean, Hotter Than Hell is a dumpster fire of an album.
But it's my favorite.
But I
Kiss
love
album
it.
is Hotter Than Hell.
But I love that record. I absolutely love that record.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it sounding it's like Black Sabbath Born Again. I don't want to hear it any other way.
No,
really.
Here's the thing. I do, as long as the original is still there. That's me.
I like the way Hotter Than Hell sounds. I think that's part of its
charm.
I think that is part of its charm. Yeah. Now, why it sounds like that, I'm not exactly sure, because the first album doesn't sound like that.
Well, okay, but here's a question for you. Have you noticed that the guitars on Kissin' Time, because obviously they added that single.
But that was recorded later.
And it was recorded later. But sonically, I think Kissin' Time actually sounds more like Hotter Than Hell than the rest of the debut.
That makes sense, though.
It does make sense, yeah. But I've actually tried to find where they've recorded that, because they didn't. I don't think they recorded it in California.
They recorded. I think Well, wait a minute. Hotter Than Hell or the first album?
Where they recorded, because Hotter Than Hell was recorded in California. Yeah.
The first album was recorded in New York. I think it was at Bell Studios.
Bell, yeah. And
which is defunct.
Yeah, but the Kissin' Time song, I don't know where that was.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
If someone down below can tell us where Kissing Time was recorded, that would be helpful.
That would be good.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not going to look it up right now. But if anybody can weigh in, that'd be fantastic.
No. Anyway,
and look, we went on a Kiss tangent.
We did. So I don't know. So we're just a bunch of nobodies. we have
a bunch of nobodies.
We have a grand total. I think right now we're averaging 11 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Well, we're going to try to get that boosted up.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that I have any influence on anything.
Well, hey, look.
I mean, we do these interviews on here, and I keep trying to change it, and I'm going to keep doing interviews with bands and artists because I like to do it. I do my whole channel. It's not about, if I could turn one person onto your band, and they buy something or stream something, then I feel like my work has been done. If I could just turn one person on to you guys, I have very low expectations, but I wish people would watch these interviews more. And I was talking to Pete Pardo on Sea of Tranquility, and he felt the same way. People don't watch interviews for some reason. And my whole thing is that I'm fascinated. Me personally, on these shows, I'm drawn to interviews because I am just fascinated how the band got going, what makes them tick. That's what I love, and that's why I keep doing it.
That's why Josh wrote, even though it's fiction and it's absurd, he wrote this series of stories because it's what's going on behind the scenes that's kind of interesting. It's like a human interest story, and I think that to me, the bands that I always loved were the bands where it wasn't just the music; it was the story.
I love the story,
and I have to like the band, at least my impression of who the band members are. I have to kind of find their stories to be interesting and compelling. And that's I mean, I have a lot of stuff here, so that's the case with a lot of artists. But.
So what, as you guys keep progressing, what's next in the Underlords universe? More albums, more books?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
you guys going to be playing some gigs? What?
We are old, so
you're old.
I mean, the fact that we're...
for goodness sake.
No. We're very young.
Well, I mean, the fact that
we're very young.
I mean, yeah, we're...
Keep that alive, Brett. I'm just saying, you're fine.
Okay. But we're working on new stuff. We're working on some new song ideas. Josh is working on a new story. We've talked about, do we want to change direction a little bit and focus on playing a gig? Because we haven't actually played a live gig in 3 years. It was May of 23 was the last time we played a live gig.
And that's post-COVID. Why haven't you guys played? What's the problem?
The main reason is we actually don't put a huge amount of time into this. First of all, his schedule is extremely busy with dueling pianos and with the Elton and Billy tribute that he does, and then on top of that, of course, he has a full-time job because and
he records other artists too.
He's just recently done a country.
You guys are lucky to have him involved.
We're very.
I'm just joking, but
no, it's true. It is true.
It's
true.
Amazing that he has even time for this, but he must love it.
I tell you what, you like unknown artists. He's on Spotify. There are probably 15 Andy Andersons on Spotify, but I think I looked it up before we met up with you tonight. I think he's got an average of 4 listeners right now on Spotify. But there's a song of his. He's got a lot of songs, and he's more kind of Beatles-esque. He's more Elton John,
pop rock too.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So he has an album called Plastic Soul, which you can kind of guess where that...
I wonder how that was influenced.
Wonder where that came from.
I wonder where that came from.
There are a few songs on that record that I'm especially proud of because, again, one of my former students did backing vocals with him on, and she blends with him so well. So if you have a pen, I urge you to jot down... Or you can go back and just listen to the video.
I can go back and listen to the video, but anybody else watching this, jot this down. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Andy Anderson, there's a song called The Death of Me that he wrote and recorded. And aside from the violin in it, and aside from Annika's backing vocal, everything is Andy. Guitars, bass, drums, lead vocal, piano. It's all Andy. And it is one of my favorite songs. And his guitar solo on it is so emotive. It's one of my favorite songs. He also
plays guitar too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are all a bunch of guitar players.
Yeah. And he also has a song on that album called "Let Your Soul Run Free."
That's really good.
Which is it's so stylistically different than what you hear from us, but it's so good. And I think that Annika and there was another gal that she had with her that was doing backing vocals. They sound so good. They blend so good. And just it was so fun to just hear this song, such a good song, and to watch, this kid was going to college by this time. He's one of those kids who stayed in touch, and she's a musician, and it's like, hey, you want to come in and do some backing vocals? Sure, I'll do that, and they just nailed it. Stuff. And they sounded so good. And the thing about recording with Andy that I really, really appreciate is, there's no AI in this at all. This is all real, actual recording through amps, mic the amps, real stuff. And if we don't, we will occasionally, you drop in, you fix things, you do that stuff. You'd be kind of dumb not to. But a lot of the times, it's a lot of times Andy will just be like, yeah, you can do better. Go do it all over again. You know, because he's a little old school. And it's like, yeah, I think you have a better take in you. It just doesn't.
I mean,
a little more grit, a little more feel, or whatever. And so you play it over again, and it's like you play it until it's right. You know?
when you guys record stuff, are you doing pretty much traditional way? I had Smith and Little on, which are two couple of young people from the UK, and I was talking to Billy Smith about it, about his guitar parts, because his guitar tone was fantastic, and he was telling me I didn't use an amp; I plugged straight into the board.
No,
And I'm talking to Billy. I'm going, what?
yeah, because you know, there's.
You mean you're not using an amp? You're not mic, traditionally, like the bass wasn't done like that. The guitars weren't done like that. And I'm just sitting there going,
Josh's bass is largely DI, and
I just don't get it. I would think you'd want the sound of the, I don't know. I don't know
you're
anything.
moving air with
Right.
with cabinets, and for some reason, and I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but Andy's got a couple of these pedals which are essentially they mimic, and they're like analog strips from, it's not from maybe an old Neve board. I can't remember what they are, but he runs the bass through that, and it just makes them sound really, really sweet.
I mean, how do you two do your guitar parts?
Guitars, mostly through Fender cabinets. Through a Fender, what is it? Is Fender Twin? I can't remember what we got.
Twin's got a lot of power.
Yeah, I think it's a Twin. But yeah, they're Fender amps. And probably a 51 mic. I can't remember what. Sometimes he'll put a couple different mics on and just.
Well, I mean, but are you guys like in a studio recording this, or are you doing parts?
It's
a lot of these bands, they're doing their parts and sending them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you look on our Facebook page, there's a couple pictures of us up there. It's like basically almost like a warehouse.
Okay.
Like a small airplane hangar almost in the way.
Yeah, it's like one of those big garages that you can rent to store your
huge
truck
vault,
in.
huge ceiling, and it's
right.
Yeah.
I get it.
lighting, drums, everything's there. The board, I mean, everything's there.
Yeah, that's the way I'd like to do it.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
there's
you
no
want to have a good time.
There's no separate rooms or anything like that. So if somebody's doing a vocal or something, it's like, shh, stay really quiet.
Or turn the AC off.
Turn the
on
AC
wall
off
so it's not making noise, so the mics won't pick it up.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, okay, we're going to go up and Brian's going to do his guitar parts on this song today, So like he might be the only one there, or there might be another person there, but we rarely play together unless we're like maybe giving a guide guitar when Andy's doing like the drum track. But Andy's so good, he can actually do a drum track with no guitar.
Yeah. Once he gets
how you usually start out? At least I've seen people, they do the drums first.
Yeah.
And then you build everything around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe Stuart Copeland was talking about that.
Oh,
Like the police stuff. A lot of it was him. And then Andy and Sting would build everything around it. But he never got a chance to ever, whatever he laid down was what they had. They never went back and said, Stuart, can you go back and lay your drums again? He only had like one shot to do it. And then, Andy and Sting would have all this freedom to go and do whatever.
Well, and Stuart did a pretty good job.
Well, he did.
Of course. I mean,
So,
but it's like he doesn't have that opportunity to kind of go, well,
now that I hear this, I could do this.
You did this, I could do this different. So, yeah.
But now he can look back and go, well, I probably would have done it like that. But no human on the planet that's listening to those police tracks are going to go, yeah, I think Stuart probably should have done this.
Right. I know. Right.
No.
So you're your own worst critic, though.
Yeah. Andy's
He should be.
Andy's he's got such a good ear that he's really
Teddy's
attuned
barking.
to,
Anyway, go ahead.
to
Sorry.
frequencies and and sound, and he wants things to be as right as he can be, just simply because he loves to do it. It's a hobby for him, and it's not, he doesn't get paid to do it, And that's really what all this comes down to, is it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
Really.
It's fun.
Well, the whole goal here is maybe we can turn you on to stuff. So
Yeah.
if someone's watching this video and they're all intrigued about what you guys are up to, where should a fan start? If they're going to jump right in, is there a specific album? Is there a book? I mean, you guys are so vast. You've got books, you've got albums. I mean,
and I was going to ask you, Brian, if you're going to like what piggyback off what Grant said, if you were going to pick like one song from the catalog and say this is what the Underlords is about, what song would that be and why? Like, as an example, if you can think of one.
I'd probably say Smaller Than Death.
Okay.
I mean, Sugar Man. I love Sugar Man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm the one who pushed
it's iconic,
but it's a little on the goofy side. It has a small hint of maybe Weird Al in it,
A little bit.
But just a little sprinkle.
just a little sprinkle.
A sprinkle of it.
So maybe Smaller Than Death, the song, and then I would say also, like, if people that are interested in like old pulp stories from like the 1930s, that's Josh's thing. Is Robert Bloch, Robert E. Howard, the all that 1930s pulp stuff. That's what really inspires Josh. And
Lovecraft.
So, H.P. Lovecraft. If you're interested, if you're a reader, and he writes under the name H. Prescott Lemon. That's I just forgot to mention that. He doesn't
fantastic.
H. Prescott Lemon, and so he's kind of our in-house.
He's like your little Neil Peart.
He kind of
kind of is.
So yeah, it's just. It's kind of whatever just trips our trigger at the moment is kind of the thing, and that's where if I was going to start from a reading standpoint, I mean, I'd start with that story there.
Okay.
Underlords of the Overworld, Origins of the Damned, Volume 1, and or I would start with OAO, The Consciousness Eater.
All right.
And from a music standpoint, I would work more recent and then work backwards.
Well, what I would say is I agree. I think Smaller Than Death is great, but I would also throw in Riddle Me This, which is off the first record, and Waiter, There's a Demon in My Soup, simply because when I came into the project, I had to learn those songs because Brian and Josh had been working on them. I think Riddle Me This is a fantastic song. It's got a little bit of funk, a little bit of rock. It's just kind of got a little bit of everything that we like to do, and I think that's a fantastic song. And then Waiter, There's a Demon in My Soup is just totally Underlords. That's like what we are all about. So I would say those two songs too, as well as Smaller Than Death would be a good start.
The version with Derek Sherinian
is fantastic.
All right. Well, it gives somewhere to start off.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be yapping for 2 hours on this. There's the RD, everybody.
For the record, the funny thing is that I almost never record with the Gibsons. I almost always record with.
What are you using? What do you use?
Mostly, I record mostly with the first Slash. I'm not even a big Slash fan, but the Slash Epiphone. I just love the way it sounds. It sounds awesome.
Slash Epiphone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those Epiphones probably have Gibson pickups in it at this point.
Weirdly enough, it has an ebony fretboard too. But yeah. So should we close this out, or are you?
Yeah, we're done. I think we've done it.
As Grant likes to say, let's wrap this dog up.
Let's wrap this dog up. Kid. Leave it over now. Damn, that's how you end a show, kids.
There you go.
All right. Underlords of the Overworld. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian and Brett, I will put the links down below. Actually, if you can send me, you probably have, is there like a link tree or something? What do you guys use for links and stuff?
We're so technologically
just Bandcamp. Is that where we can find you guys?
We're at Bandcamp, yes, sir. We're at Bandcamp and Apple Music. And Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yep.
All right, I'll put the links down below. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can give these guys some love, go back and check out that Little Known Bands That You Should Know show, if you want to go back and check that out. So they were featured on that. And they have a new album that came out several months ago in March. It's May. It's new. Go check it out. I don't think I have anything else to... well, I mean, I could talk to you guys all night. Fantastic.
Well, how about this? Let's just make it a point to do this again sometime. Maybe
I'd like to just do like talk guitars and gear and stuff.
We should have you on our. We'll have you on our channel sometime.
Well, have me on your channel then.
We have some ideas.
You guys have a channel?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
do. Well,
see, I'm a
so
newbie.
there you go. We'll say this. So we have a channel. We're not as prolific as you, but
Well, I'm a little crazy, so
we'll do like ranking. We actually have an album ranking system that we came up with. That I actually mentioned this to Martin Popoff in an email once, and he said, "You go ahead and use your system. There's no way I'm doing that."
well, you got to hit Martin just at the right time.
But
if you're gonna talk to Martin, do not bring up Rush. I will say that.
Well, I've been buying and ordering from Martin for so long. He he recognizes me, but from that. But we have a system, and we try to use the system to kind of remove any of our biases as much as possible. So Brent and I have had fun doing that, and we've done like the Rush albums and we've done the Kiss albums.
Yeah, have me on. I'd love to come on.
So yeah, we'd love to have you on.
And we have some other show. I'll reach out to you. I'll send you a message and I'll give you some ideas. We'll see what we can come up with.
Let's do it. I'm all excited. I love
Sounds
it.
great.
You know how to find me.
I know.
All right, kids, give the Underlords of the Overworld. I can never say it. It's so hard for me to say it.
You can just say Underlords.
Just say Underlords.
There you go.
Give the Underlords some love. The links are down below. Give them some love. Check out their material. Look at me over on their channel. I'll send the links out when that happens. Gentlemen, I will keep you posted on when this goes live.
Great.
I've got another interview before this to get up. I'm a little backlogged, but I'll get this up. I'll let you guys know.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, kids. All right, kids. So for anyone who doesn't know, we have a Patreon on this channel. Please, if you want to give me some love, check out the Patreon. We also have a Ko-fi. Buy me a cup of coffee or a pint or something. If that's too much commitment, just give a thumbs up and give these guys some love. That's all I ask. And other than that, keep it clean, wrap the rascal, and buckle up. We'll see you on the next one.